This is Larva Nine News. Tensions between the United States and Canada are escalating once again as President Donald Trump threatens massive new tariffs against Canada's automobile industry. Trump says the United States could impose 50% tariffs on Canadian-made cars, trucks, and automotive parts beginning January 1, 2027. The announcement follows the collapse of trade negotiations between Washington and Ottawa, pushing to longtime allies deeper into an increasingly serious trade war. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has strongly criticized the pressure being placed on his country. Canadian leaders argue that the United States is attempting to weaken Canada's automobile industry and move manufacturing jobs south of the border. Canada is now preparing to fight back. The Canadian government has announced retaliatory tariffs against American goods, raising concerns that businesses and consumers on both sides of the border could ultimately feel the consequences. The automobile industries of Canada and the United States are deeply connected. Vehicles assembled in North America can contain components that cross the border multiple times during production. That means a major tariff battle could affect factories, workers' supply chains, vehicle production, and potentially prices paid by ordinary families. But beyond economics and politics, Christians may also see another reminder of how quickly relationships between nations can change. The Bible repeatedly warns that earthly wealth and political power are temporary. Jesus taught in Matthew chapter 6 not to store up treasures on earth, where they can be destroyed, but to store up treasures in heaven. This does not mean Christians should ignore economics or world affairs. Decisions made by governments can affect jobs, businesses, families, and entire communities. But Scripture reminds believers that their ultimate security should never rest entirely in governments, economies, or material prosperity. Today, Canada and the United States remain deeply connected by geography, trade, security, and generations of cooperation. Yet this growing dispute demonstrates how quickly even long-standing relationships can come under pressure when national interests collide. Whether these threatened tariffs ultimately take effect or negotiations resume remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: the economic relationship between these two neighboring nations is entering another uncertain chapter. As Christians watch events unfolding around the world, Scripture calls us to remain informed, prayerful, discerning, and focused on the things that endure beyond politics and economics. This is Larva Nine News.